Thank you, Interim Superintendent Eddie Johnson. I want to echo what was also said before I speak to both the graduates and the command staff that's being promoted. I want all of us to give a hand to all the family members that are out there today, because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And thank them. And I saw it firsthand with my Uncle Les, who was a sergeant in the police department in the 17th District. I know what Aunt Bev always went through. So to all the family members that are here, the extended family members and friends, they're here today because you're not just behind them, you're by their side every night, whether they put the uniform on or whether the uniform's off, you're always on duty. So to our city owes you a debt of gratitude for standing by these individuals that are in front of us today. I want to echo something very, very important that the superintendent said, and that is also the character that's made up of the men and women that we're graduating today. And he talked about a new world that's out there, a change that's happened. From your class to the class of lieutenants and others that are being graduated today, it's a different world. But it is not different in the sense of the principles of policing. This police department, Chicago, is built around the concept of community policing. The safety of our streets are on your shoulders. But I want to be clear to everybody in the rest of the city, they are not on your shoulders alone. Yes, police officers have a role to play when it comes to safety. Parents have a role to play when it comes to teaching kids right from wrong. Principals have a role to play in making sure kids know the values that are important to being good citizens. Pastors have a role to play, and public officials have a role to play. Every one of us, the 5 Ps, parents, police officers, principals, pastors, and public officials, all of us are involved in creating the safety on our streets and in partnering with our police officers. It is not an accident that the interim superintendent comes from patrol. It is the backbone of the Chicago Police Department, not just because it's the largest, but because it embodies the principle that we built around community policing. The men and women who are out on the street. And we are not asking you as a city just to patrol a neighborhood. As noted by your class president, we want you to be part of the community, partnering with the pastors, partnering with principals, partnering with parents, partnering with public officials. And if we put that together, there is no part of this city that's immune from the safety we want to see, so our kids have the childhood that they deserve to raise, knowing right from wrong, good from bad, and they know they have a future in this city. Too often, as Superintendent Eddie Johnson noted, we know there's 1,000 individuals out there that are creating the overpreponderance of violence on our streets. We know who they are, we know where they live, and as he just said, your days are numbered and you're put on notice. And I want to be clear, because too often I see kids in the city of Chicago who are having their childhood stolen, where they know the familiarity of gun violence and not the familiarity of laughter. We owe the kids of the city of Chicago their childhood, with a value system and a sense of community, not only built on trust, but built on that they count in this city. So as we talk about public safety, and we talk about your responsibility going forward, you are not in this alone. You have partners. And if you work in the concept of community policing, you will build the partners that build the trust that is so essential in cooperation for returning safety and security to our community. So we will ask you in this dangerous job, in this demanding job, that it requires, as Superintendent Johnson just noted, courage. It requires commitment, but it also requires care and compassion. And it's built on a straightforward philosophy. More police on the street, and fewer guns, fewer gangs, and fewer kids on the street. Which is why I'm so proud as we go into the summer. This year, we will have a record 25,000 kids involved in summer jobs. So they have an alternative to the life on the street. They do not graduate from the street corner university, but they have a positive place, an alternative to the street, where they can learn values, earn a paycheck, and most importantly, the value of what they can contribute. So much is expected and asked of all of you. And on behalf of the entire city, I want to thank you. Thank you for making yourself a dedicated citizen willing to serve others. Thank you for willing to sacrifice. Thank you for willing to serve. Thank you for doing it in a way that upholds the values of our city. And in today's day, I want you to know you are not alone. The city stands shoulder to shoulder with you as we make sure that all our residents in every part of the city have the safety and the security that they deserve, and also an environment in a sense where a community can take hold and our kids can know right from wrong. On this day, always remember the values not only you learned in the academy, the values your parents taught you. Those will be your guiding principles, and our city will be eternally grateful for your willingness to serve. Thank you. Congratulations.